You know, there are a number of big projects coming from Marvel and the MCU. We talked a little bit earlier about one of the Disney Plus series that's coming with Daredevil Born Again. Well, let's not forget, too, we also got a new Captain America movie. Captain America 4, New World Order. And whenever I say those words, Ray, all I hear is... I just hear the Jimi Hendrix tune playing in the back of my head. I expect Hollywood Hogan to come through the thing anytime now. But New World Order is coming. And they've begun shooting as the first set photo has kind of been released. A couple of set photos, actually, have been released of Anthony Mackie on set. Now, if you scroll down a little bit there, Jonathan, you'll come across the actual image of him, I believe. There it is.
Is he standing in front of a church?
Literally, he's sitting in front of a church with a bad date on it. No, he's just standing there, very casual kind of thing. But so there's really nothing to be revealed here. It looks like he's casually hanging out in his hometown, maybe, just whatever.
That dude's magically hiding behind a post.
Yeah, who is that?
That's Mephisto.
It's Mephisto. Confirmed. Mephisto has entered the MCU. Look at the way he's like just kind of spying on him.
Mephisting.
He's got a thirsty.
Oh my God.
He'll never find me behind this post.
Can you screen his comment?
We're just going to put a blur right there.
Put the spoiler tab on his mouth.
Anyway,
I just loved that you immediately were like, who said that?
I have no idea where that came from. My stars and garters. Where did that come from? All right. So they have started shooting. I mean, the thing is in production now. It's on its way. It's ready and rolling. Now, with that in mind, not a lot is revealed in the image itself, but I thought this would be a good opportunity for us to actually take a look about what it is we actually know so far about Captain America for New World Order. So here's some things that we do know about it. And again, that picture doesn't really shed a lot of light on it, other than the fact that, I know, Sam isn't a Mandalorian and he will take off the Captain America suit from time to time. So let's take a look at it. So what we know so far. The movie is being directed by Julius Ona. Now, he directed a fabulous film called Loose that Naomi Watts, of the Abomination himself, Tim Roth, and Octavia Spencer. It's a terrific little movie about this family that adopts a kid, and he's a wonderful kid, but then maybe some strange stuff to start. Anyway, check it out. Unfortunately, he also directed a really terrible movie called Cloverfield Paradox. Remember, that's the one that, like, days before release, Paramount dumped it on Netflix?
Yeah.
That was not a good movie.
So shitty to that franchise. I love it so much. God.
You
But
gotta grind your teeth when you say that.
again,
I kind of thought the explanation of how the creature was there was okay.
That's fine.
Like,
Yeah,
the premise.
sure,
Just
but
the
it was
rest
a
of
bad
it,
movie,
like,
man.
eh,
Bad
in my
movie.
opinion.
But Loose was great, and that's his more recent one. So I'm kind of excited to see what he can do with the Captain America because of that. The other thing that we do know, a couple other things we know. Anthony Mackie obviously is back as Captain America. Danny Ramirez, who is his military liaison, Joaquin, he's back. And most importantly, I think Carl Lumbly, who's of course the older age Captain America, one of the original super serum soldier guys, as Isaiah Bradley. They're all returning from Falcon the Winter Soldier. So that much we know as well. Another thing that we know so far is an uncertainty. And that uncertainty is the fate of Sebastian Stan, because Anthony Mackie has, in a recent interview, said that he's not actually sure if Sebastian Stan's in the movie or not, because he has not yet read the script. Anthony Mackie says he hasn't yet read the script. But he says he's actually not really sure if Sebastian Stan's going to be in the movie or not, because apparently they're going to be shooting Thunderbolts at about and around the same time. So there's that. Another thing that we do know about Captain America 4 is that Tim Blake Nelson, who I love Tim Blake Nelson. By the way, if you've never seen him in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? You definitely got to watch that. But Tim Blake Nelson reprising his role as Samuel Stearns, a.k.a. the leader. He's going to be back there. That was one of the very first big pieces of news that we found out. Also, we know kind of an idea about what the movie's going to feel like, because the director of the film described it as a paranoid thriller, which sounds a little bit like it's going to fall a bit more in line with Captain America Winter Soldier. Because you definitely can call it, I call Winter Soldier a political thriller, a 70s political thriller. So calling it a paranoid thriller to me, puts it a little bit more in line again with Winter Soldier, and I think that's a good thing. Now, one of the big questions has been that of Chris Evans. Now, Anthony Mackie, in a recent interview, he kind of dodged a question a bit about whether or not, he was asked whether or not Chris Evans may be appearing in the film. He kind of dodged it a bit, just basically saying, wow, that would be a tall order, but he never actually confirmed or denied. So again, we actually do know a bunch. Like, we know who the director is. We know some of the cast has been returning. We still have a big question mark about Sebastian Stan, so that's not sure. We know Tim Blake Nelson is coming. We got a kind of a genre kind of feel for what it's coming from. And maybe it is possible that Chris Evans could be appearing in the film. Now, I've always believed, and I still believe, Chris Evans will return to the MCU. I just don't know if Captain America 4 is going to be the place that he does that. Now, the picture and the pictures, because there are multiple pictures, but it's just basically of scenery. And the fact that they have started rolling cameras on the new film, I haven't really gleaned anything from, it looks like a pretty standard casual picture, so I haven't gleaned anything about that. Hey, Chris, let me ask you this. We know this movie's coming. We've just had a look at a couple of pictures. It's in production now. What are you expecting to see in a Captain America 4? What kind of direction do you think they're going to go in with this?
I mean, I feel like what they really need to do, in my opinion, is to solidify him as Cap, right? And that was the whole thing we needed to get through for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I enjoyed a bit more than you. I thought it was a pretty good episode, good series. But right now, we just haven't had Sam being present. We haven't had, an Avengers team or anything like that. We really need to position him as a leader, right? And so I'm really, really hoping that a lot of this isn't the question of who gets to have the shield anymore. It's he's got it and he's owning it. So I feel like that has to be a very big focus here. I do like the idea, too, getting back to more of these kind of political machinations as well. I think that was already something we had dabbled with the series, right? Just kind of talking about our current political landscape, talking about financial issues and everything as well. But I really do want to get back into that kind of spy thriller element that we had in Winter Soldier. I think that's something really, really cool that we've been missing for a while. Things have been a little shiny in Marvel, a little fun, a little festive. I want to get, a little gritty. I think that'd be fun.
Now, going back to Ona's recent film, Loose, that dude knows how to create a mystery filled with tension. He knows how to create characters in those environments. If he can bring, and look, just because the director's done one thing in one movie doesn't mean he's going to do that in another movie.
Sure.
But if Ona can bring that sort of environment with the characters and the type of atmosphere that he created in that film, if he can bring some of that into a Captain America movie, I think that would be baller.
Oh, for sure.
I think that would be awesome if he can do that.
You've got such a world-class actor as your lead here, too. You have a Juilliard-trained actor who I really think you can do so much more
from 8
with this
Mile.
character. Mm-hmm.
You got an actor from 8 Mile in there.
Incredible. And I think so far we haven't really, pardon the really, really silly pun here, but we haven't been able to let him spread his wings. All right? Let Mackie do his thing. Right? And I think you can do some really, really cool stuff and really, really broaden this character for him.
Let me ask you this question. I do think you're right. Like, Falcon and the Winter Soldier kind of became him embracing being Captain America, but that wasn't really until the end. And about the whole idea about one of the things they probably need to accomplish in this movie is like really letting him now solidify that. Let me ask you, do you think including Bucky or Steve in the movie could help that cause to solidify him? Or do you think it maybe would take away from the goal of solidifying Anthony Mackie as the new Captain America? Do you think it would help or hurt?
I think it comes down to execution, right?
Oh, okay.
If it's flashbacks of kind of that mentorship that he had with Steve, I think that's great. If it's that wonderful friendship kind of frenemies thing that we have with him and Bucky, I think that can be really, really great. As long as everyone else is supporting Steve's decision to hand him the shield, I think that's what's going to help it. What's going to hurt it is if we have dueling captains. Right? If it's, hey, I'm back and I'm here to help, or hey, I'm doing this. Let me just borrow this for a quick second. Oh, it feels good to have this fella back. That's where we're going to dilute it, right? We need to all be on the same page that Sam is captain, and everyone else just needs to support that. So if they do have these other people in there, it's just further solidifying that message.
I would love for this movie to start at a wedding where Bucky is marrying Sam's sister, and Sam has to stand up there as a best man, because I love that thing. And
Their chemistry was fantastic.
I didn't love Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I loved that. The whole thing with the family loving Bucky and the little flirting with the sister. I think it might have been one of my favorite parts of that series. I thought it was great.
Well, and how much Sam just hates it too.
Oh,
is
yes.
so good.
I love that. All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about that? Captain America 4 is now in production. The cameras are rolling. We've got our first look at some images. Don't really give away a lot. We know a bunch of things about it. Where do you think this movie's going to go? What do you think are the important things that it needs to accomplish or avoid? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Fume. Be smart. Don't start. Kick the habit. Put it out before it puts you out. All phrases we've heard 100 times, yet we still continue to have bad habits. And I know all of you guys completely relate with me when I say kicking bad habits feel like it's impossible. Well, thankfully, our sponsor Fume is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from the bad habits that consume far too many of us. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. And understand, Fume is not a vape. It's a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. Instead of pods filled with potentially harmful chemicals like a vape, Fume uses cores infused with plants like peppermint and cinnamon for delicious natural flavors. And Fume's new version 2 model is snappy and tactile. The easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed perfectly to do just that. It's Fume's goal to make switching easy and even enjoyable. They have thousands of 5-star reviews from people just like you who've successfully switched when other solutions simply don't work. So head to tryfume.com and use the code Campea to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors and the new version 2 Fume to help kickstart your positive habits. That's tryfum.com and use the code Campea to save an additional 10% off on your order today.